that Cajun. Oh, we're not doing that on there.
No, tell me about it.
No, no, no,
Explain it
no,
to me. Come on,
no,
Fat
no,
Boy.
no, no. This is
Come
not.
on.
It's not Dumb and Dumber on there.
Don't
Well,
break this up. Come on.
that was it.
Hey, everybody, welcome
That
to
was
the
NFA.
show today. This is the bald guy with my buddy the fat boy, and we were just having an interesting
Okay.
conversation about the
No,
origin of the
no,
race called the
not
Grand
prayer.
Prix.
Not
Why
prayer.
did hey, hold your turn. Hold your turn. You can talk in just a second.
Listen to this.
You don't have to discuss it. Either way, we were having a discussion about the origins of the word prix where it pertains to Grand Prix, like in the race. Because Alabama fan over there, fat boy, doesn't have a lot of culture in his life. So looking at prix being a word from French origins, which I had no idea what it meant. I'll be the first one to tell you. I'm a country bumpkin from Texas. I thought it was had something to do with race. But so what does it mean, fat boy? What did we
Well,
come up with?
no, what you come with? I told you. I know this was not for air. If I feel like making myself look dumb, I can do that all by myself. I do not need your help. This conversation is going to be more than I can handle anyway. With Alabama being first out, and I don't need this to be added on top of that.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, it's the Grand Prix. Like I said, I thought it was some kind of racing term, but it's not. Grand Prix just means grand prize. I had no idea.
Well, fine. You learned something. I don't care for it. I'm not getting into it because that was not for air.
Well, I mean, but why don't you care for it? I don't understand why you have a problem with it. We call stuff stupid things all the time. Why did that one stick in? Did you see that somewhere today or what?
It's on my screen when I pull my list up after the Golf Hero Challenge, which Scotty Scheffler won by 25 under in the Bahamas. Tiger Woods Hero World Challenge. The next show is Grand Prix Final Highlights, but it doesn't spell Grand Prix. It spells Grand Prix. In this
Just
country,
Grand Prix.
Prix in this country to me is not a word. And I done said that's how I felt about it, but I didn't want to discuss this on air. You just making fun of me does not
Hey,
make.
I mean, like they had an American car manufacturer had a car named the Grand Prix. Like, do you remember that?
Uh-uh.
Pontiac had a Grand Prix.
Was it spelled right, like
Yeah,
PRA?
no, it's spelled exactly like that.
Then it was an American
But
car.
looking back now,
It was an American.
they missed an opportunity for great marketing for it to actually mean the grand prize if you bought.
American car with bad French on it.
I don't know as though it's bad French. Just because you don't understand something does not make it bad, sir.
Wow. Boy, there's a whole bucket of stuff that doesn't constitute in, and it just happens to be one thing out of that bucket. So
Right? Yeah, true. But just because you don't understand it, it does not inherently make it bad.
yeah, not the way I live my life.
So, so if it's outside of your understanding, that's in the bad category. Is that right?
Until otherwise informed.
Okay. All right. Well, see, that's why we're friends because I inform you of stuff all the time.
That's not exactly how I would put that, but okay.
The friends part, or that I inform you of stuff all the time.
We'll just leave it out there in the ether. Let people gather up what they will with it.
Okay. All right. Well, so what do you want to talk about first today? I mean, you have any positive? Let's talk about
Cowboy,
Scotty Scheffler.
the only good thing in my life right now, after today, is the Mavericks.
What about Scotty? I mean, Scotty won the
Yeah, but he's
World Golf Tournament.
technically that's true. I like Scotty Scheffler. I love watching good tournament golf. Or for people who like those kind of things, those kind of people like. I mean, there are a bunch of people out there that don't like watching golf on television. There's a lot of people out there that don't like golf, period. So if you're a golf person, believe it or not, being a fat boy, you would think I wouldn't be a golf person because it involves a lot of walking and cardio, things of that effect that I don't really much apply into. But I love live golf. I love good golf. I was a huge Tiger Woods fan, and that has nothing to do with my size. I'm a huge Scotty Scheffler fan because that man has 2024 has been one of the greatest years, including some of the years Tiger had. '06 was Tiger one of Tiger's best years, and this to me, he won 9 tournaments this year, 24 plus a gold medal, plus a green jacket, plus had a kid. I mean, he plus went to jail, got some street cred, went to jail for a little bit, got some street cred on his name. So, and he was falsely accused, and all that. So, this has been a Scotty Scheffler year. He happens to be one of your Longhorns, which I have no denigration to that because he doesn't go around flaunting that. I had seen him throw up the hook and horn side one time in the whole year. So therefore, I'm okay with Scotty Scheffler. My guy from Alabama got second, Justin Thomas. So roll tide. And yes, just because my guys are the first guys, just because we're playing in the toilet bowl, doesn't mean I'm still not the roll tide king. I'm bummed out, and I'll be bummed out. Like I told you earlier, not for air, but I'll bring this in. I will. I have no really concern or care about the college football playoff now. Now that my team, the team that I keep up with, the team that I love, the team that I live and die by, are now out of the playoff, which sucks. But it's just part of being a fan. It's part of being a fan. I'm used to being the last 15 years with Saban and not being in this particular position. That those days are now officially over. So I got to learn to move on.
Yeah, you do.
And congratulations to you and your Texas Longhorns. They got in the playoffs in a real spectacular fashion, and with their second loss to Georgia, and now they get the reward by going and getting a home game versus Clemson. So congratulations.
Okay, well, okay, so let's start with this. We're gonna go through the bracket in just a second, but just let me throw hypothetically out there. Your team, my team, whoever's team, right? If I told you that your path to the final four of college football playoffs, okay? I'm gonna give you 2 scenarios and you tell me which one you think is harder and which one's easier, okay?
Sure.
All right. So first, you're gonna get the winner of a number 7 seed Notre Dame and a number 10 seed Indiana. And then you're gonna have to go and play well, you're just gonna have to have one game to get in. So you only have to win one game, okay? So the question boils down to, would you rather play Notre Dame or Indiana, or have to play 2 games, but one of those games, now 2 conference champions, but one of these is Clemson, a 3-loss Clemson team that did not look as strong this year. And then if you beat Clemson, your prize is getting to go play an Arizona State team. So would you rather play one game against the winner of Indiana Notre Dame, or 2 games against Clemson and Arizona State?
You're not gonna like my answer.
No, I don't care.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
It's about the same, you think, right? I don't know. I think I like Texas's path.
Well, and I knew what your point was, but for me, in asking a neutral person that question, I got it at 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
I know I did not like the way it was set up last week had Texas won, because I feel like we would have had to go play Georgia again after our first round bye.
Yeah. And we had a discussion about y'all playing Georgia again.
Hold on, we're gonna save our picks. Let's just go ahead and go through that now.
Okay.
Run us through what your picks for the playoffs are.
Well, okay. I don't. Of course, now that we're discussing it, unlike a while ago, I don't have it exactly in front of me, so I'm doing this from memory. So you got to help me.
No, I'll help you out. I'll just run you through the matchups. Okay.
I'll tell you as you go.
Okay. All right. So, the 8 and 9 play each other. Ohio State and Tennessee. Who you take?
I got Ohio State.
Ohio. All right. Next is.
You go ahead and reveal yours at the same time.
Okay. All right. I have Ohio State as well.
Okay.
So we both picked Ohio State. Okay. All right. So the winner of that game goes on to play Oregon. Who are you going to take in that? We'll go ahead and get to our final four. Who are you going to take? Ohio State versus Oregon.
Oregon.
You have Oregon. Okay. I'm going to surprise some people, and I'm going to go with Ohio State.
Okay. I don't. To me, that's a 50-50 game, really, ultimately.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it could be.
The first matchup was only a 1 point game.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be a real good game.
So you're not way out on a limb picking Ohio State there, is what I'm saying.
Right. Okay. All right. So in the second little bracket, we're going to do Notre Dame at Indiana.
I got Notre Dame.
You got Notre Dame. No, this is in South Bend. Sorry.
Yeah, I already knew that, but I didn't care.
Okay.
I still got Notre Dame either way.
You got Notre Dame. I'm going to take Indiana.
You need to preface this by you're not actually picking the opposite of me.
No, because we already agreed on Ohio State in the first one.
Okay, good. I want to make sure because that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So the winner of that game goes to play Georgia.
This was my only through the bracket. This was my only coin toss. I flipped a coin and Georgia won.
Okay. All right. So you've got Georgia advancing. So far, not playing each other, you have Oregon advancing to the Final Four and Georgia advancing to the Final Four.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So then you have Penn State and SMU.
Penn State.
Penn State. I'm going to go with you on that. Okay. And the winner of that game advances in to play Boise State.
Penn State.
I'm going to go with you on that too. I think it'll be Penn State.
I've watched Boise State play a minimum of 3 games this year. I've watched the competition that Boise State has struggled with. Penn State is heads and tails better than any team Boise even come close to seeing in the Mountain West, out of conference. The only way they've seen that good a competition is on film. So what I'm telling you, I would be shocked, dismayed, if I had hard-earned money, to bet on that game, that was a sure thing. It'd be Penn State over Boise State.
You don't know what the line's going to be though.
They're gonna, yeah, well, it'll still be but who gets the home field advantage there?
Boise.
Boise.
Yeah.
Smurf turf. They'll get the Smurf turf game.
Yep.
So they'll only be a touchdown underdog in that game.
You think?
Yeah. They'll only be a touchdown underdog in that game.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's as close to home field advantage as they're going to get.
Okay. So there's Penn State advancing. All right. So the last bracket is Texas and Clemson.
Texas is going to mollywop Clemson.
Okay. And then the winner of that game, which we both think is Texas, is going to go and play Arizona State.
Texas is going to mollywop Arizona State.
Okay. All right. So now that puts us on one side of the bracket with Georgia and Penn State. And on the other side of the bracket, you have Oregon, I have Ohio State, and Texas to be able to go to the finals. So if you between Oregon and Texas, who are you picking to be in the college
Oregon
football national championship? Huh?
Or,
You're picking Oregon to go.
yes.
Okay. Obviously, anybody that watches the show knows I'm going to pick Texas.
Yes.
Okay. So on the other side of the bracket, Georgia and Penn State, who are you got?
I'm taking Georgia.
He's taking Georgia. I knew you were going to pick Penn State on this one. I just knew it. I wanted to pick Penn State, but I'll tell you what, I think Georgia's going to win. And I think we're going to see a national championship game that is Georgia versus Texas. 2 SEC teams playing for the 3rd time this year.
I told you not for air that I didn't care. I wouldn't watch another playoff game, but I put a codicil on it the codicil was unless Texas and Georgia both make it to the championship, because I want to watch Georgia beat Texas for the third time. Not for the denigration of you, just for the what's the right term, for the
No, it's
hilarity.
a little bit to be poking at me and just twisting the knife. You
No,
think that's going to happen?
just the hilarity of them getting beat by the same team 3 times in one season.
You know how hard it is to beat a team 3 times?
You can look at it a different way. You know how easy it is to beat a team 3 times.
No, because I don't know if anybody's ever won 3 times against a single opponent.
I don't think that's ever happened. Therefore, I want Georgia to. Because the first one was a 15-point game. Second one was an overtime game. I
Yep.
want Georgia to figure this out and just mollywop y'all.
Well, I personally think it'll go the other direction. I am a little nervous if it does get to that, that the Georgia program does have more experience in these games than Texas does. So that's a concern for me. But all right, so we got it. So your national champion is
Oregon.
Oregon. And my national champion pick is the University of Texas. So we both have that bracket coming out as a winner.
Yes.
That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. I bet we agree more on this bracket than we would have any bracket that had Alabama in it.
Probably so.
Yeah. Because it just changes up a lot of stuff if Alabama had stayed in.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Clemson winning that game killed y'all. Otherwise, y'all would be there.
Yeah. Well, I think. Well, I don't want to get into it, but I think we ought to be there anyway, regardless of the Clemson won or not. But that's just
Well,
my.
but that's pretty tough to kick SMU out after the year they had.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm not being over here being Florida State guy.
I know.
I'm not over here being Florida State guy. I'm over here being Alabama guy, just licking my wounds and moving on.
Well, but I mean, don't you think this year was probably good for your program?
I can say that in hindsight, but I'm still coming out of the fog of the Nick Saban era. So
That's what I'm saying. I think y'all needed a little bit of a letdown to kind of wake those guys up and let them kind of figure out what it takes to do what Nick Saban did for years and years and
I
years.
don't know. I'm so unused to being on this. I mean, I'm so unused to coaching problems and coaching depth. I don't know. I got to reevaluate. Not my fandom, of course. Just where
There's a couple games this year for the first time in years that you felt that y'all may have been outcoached.
there was no doubt about. We were damn sure our coach after the Georgia game. You remember Saban never let down, never looked ahead of another team ever, ever, ever. I mean, he never ever let his team look ahead of.
I know, but I'm
And,
saying this is
and we
something
did,
that they can
and we
point
did
to.
that twice. We did that twice. We did it against Vanderbilt, and then damn if we didn't do it against Oklahoma too.
I know, but I'm saying these are games that they can point to learn that lesson this year and never let that happen again.
I don't know. I don't know if them kids will be with transfer portal and nutrition. I don't know if them kids will even be around there to learn that lesson.
Well, I wasn't talking about the kids.
Oh,
The kids are going to come through. I'm talking about the coaching staff.
I hope so. I hope they learn their lesson, or they ain't gonna be long around there long to figure it out much longer.
But I mean, no, that was definitely a lesson for the coaching staff and something they can point back to now and go, look, we got our butts kicked by people we should not have. That can never happen again in this program. In my
I
opinion.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you find like the silver lining here of
Well, I mean, you're not used to this, but I'm gonna tell you a secret. This is not a thing that a Texas fan would know. There are no silver linings solution.
oh, there's not.
No, you'll figure that out. I mean, now that y'all are actually relevant, you'll start figuring that out maybe. So there are no silver linings solution. It sucks regardless.
It sucks regardless. Okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm just hoping y'all get it together. And
I mean, you don't know this. As a former juggernaut and a former winner. I mean, there are no silver linings to losing.
oh, you don't classify Texas as a former juggernaut?
No, no, those couple of years with Mac Brown, they don't do a lot for me like they do for y'all.
Don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah, y'all win like 2 seasons. You think you're one of the best teams in history. It blows my mind. And if I if Colt McCoy hadn't got hurt, woo! I had to go all the way to Alabama to hear an Ole Miss fan say that.
Oh, did you really?
Oh yeah, me and me and me and the hockey intern went to homecoming in Alabama to watch the year after that championship in 2010. We went up there and we sat in our seats and a couple Ole Miss guys came in behind us and we were in a conversation and told them where we were from and it wasn't more than a minute and a half. Them Ole Miss guys. If it wasn't for Colt McCoy getting hurt, y'all wouldn't even won that title. I had to go all the way to Alabama to hear two Ole Miss fans say that to me. After Texas, all the Texas fans done said it to me over and over and over again.
Hey, people getting hurt is part of the game, man. And
Yeah,
look, that's something I think we're going to see more as these playoffs play out.
yeah, that's possible.
I do think the more games you play, I also think the longer we extend the postseason in college, now you start having questions about these athletes that are going to the next level. How many of them are willing to sit out? I think you'll have to see a couple years of teams fighting for something and kids getting hurt and losing their opportunity to get drafted before this changes how everything is played.
Yeah, maybe so. I think everybody outside the, I think everybody outside the playoff that'll affect. But I think all the playoff guys, I think they'll all buy in.
I mean, maybe, but if you're a kid from Indiana, Clemson, something like that, to where you don't really may not have that much of a chance, and you go in
Yeah,
there and blow out ACL. How
I
about
don't.
how about this? Genty right now. Genty for Boise State. What if he goes out there and blows a knee out or something in a game they're getting blown out by 30, 40 points?
Yeah, okay, well, let me ask you this: what's Genty's where this in the past didn't affect that? What's Genty's NIL deal?
Oh, I don't know.
How many millions has he already made or making or made or making? Where in
But
the past
why do you pretend like this is different than in the past?
because it was
I know an Alabama guy's not
I
saying
can
that.
I can ask that legitimately because it's not secret under the covers and like I mean it was probably happening like you're saying, but there was no direct proof of it. So therefore, um, I'm just getting my point. I can give you the perfect analogy of this. You probably I'm sure you go back this far. Do you remember Willis McGahee?
Yep.
Do you remember what happened to him in Sugar Bowl?
No. I
He played
remember him with the
Ohio State,
Broncos.
huh?
I remember him with the Broncos.
Yeah. Well, he's playing versus Ohio State, and he he got I think he got him a Lloyd's of London deal on his knee, but he never but his drag stock went through the after he blew his knee out of the national championship game. It went through the tank.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just but he had a Lloyd's of London deal to compensate for a little bit of his money, but he was projected a first, but this back when they were taking running backs, a top three pick, and I don't think he even went to. I mean, I think he went to like the third or fourth round. That's how far his money fell.
Yeah, well, I mean, big injuries like that'll do that. That's why NIL is important. That's why the insurance policies were important.
So that my point to that is like Genty. I think Genty will still play, and people like Genty will still play because they've already gotten some or even in some cases big money to play in college now.
It could be, but I'm just saying, how many times does that? We're saying big money being a couple $1,000,000, $1,000,000, something
I
like that.
get that,
But
but here,
if you right
them,
now with the rookie scale, pay scale, hold on. If you're top 10 pick, I mean, you're giving up a heck of a lot more than that.
yeah, but here's the deal: how do they? How do we know how these NIL deals even work, and what them kids are even signing? And I mean, and what they're signing up. I mean, and what the NI people signing the NIL deal, what they actually have. Um, it's gonna what's gonna come down to if one of these NIL deal people that have got one of these guys signed to millions of dollars is going to wind up getting throwing some backlash to one of these players for not fulfilling their commitment. Then we're going to have a whole new. We're going to have a whole new set of problems.
No, they're getting paid by the year, and I mean, it's just a spokesman contract is all it is.
We didn't see none of that fine print, so I don't know that for sure.
Well, I mean, but on the other side, the quarterback for Las Vegas or whatever comes out and is winning a couple games, they don't pay him. He quits.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand at that point why they wouldn't have paid the kid.
Well, because Las Vegas is stupid.
Well,
Either that or they didn't have no money. I mean, whichever way you want to put it. But my point is, these kids are getting what they should have been getting all along. What all the kids, even in the past, should have been getting. That's why I think they ought to go back and give the championships back to SMU, which we've had that conversation before. Because all them kids did was just get paid. Now all these kids are just down there just getting paid like they should have been the whole time.
okay. All right. So
And we don't want to go into all that again. We don't
no,
want
we
to.
don't. No, we don't. All right. So you're good with you wished Alabama would have made it because you think they deserved it over SMU, but you understand the dilemma there. So we're out of the college football playoffs for right now. Like you're okay with where we're at. We've made our picks, and we'll see in a couple weeks. When's the first game of that start?
It won't be long. I don't know exactly. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of
Well,
them.
then we have you know what we did talk about earlier is Heisman voting.
Oh, we got to discuss that.
Yeah, the Heisman this year, I feel like it's pretty much a two-person race, and really it's a one-man race at this point, even though I still kind of support the other person.
Yeah, well, yeah, but here's the deal: if what he did counted after this week mattered, it would be still a 2-person race, but it doesn't count, and that's the way that stupid Heisman deal's always been. They cut it off so that come early. I mean, Jifty gets none of this the stuff that he pushed his team to do on the
There are
wall.
no postseason awards for any of it. Essentially, it's a regular season award.
Yeah, but the postseason part of the year, and the postseason should count. It might
Maybe we should have different
target.
awards now
I
that
want to win.
hold on. Now that the college football playoffs have expanded, maybe we should now have an MVP for the college football playoffs.
Maybe so, but I'm just telling you that, uh, and I'm arguing against my guy here.
I know because you're a big Travis Hunter fan, and he's the odds-on favorite to win.
Yes, but I still think Genty's being screwed by them already picking up the voting boxes before the playoffs are
They
over.
don't play the games till like December 20th on the first round of the playoffs, and voting has to be turned in on December 9th.
Nice. See, that's asinine. Genty could go off for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and push his guys all the way to the national title, and he don't get no credit for that. That's dumb.
I know. I mean, he'd have a national title for it.
Huh?
He'd have a national title for it.
Yeah. But the Heisman, I mean, I want to be a part of the Heisman house. And the only way to get the Heisman house is win the Heisman.
Yeah,
No
I think you're that ship sailed for you.
me?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand I can't get it now, but I'm just saying, if it were me, I'd want to be a part of that. So therefore, I want the award to be more. I understand why it used to be that way back in the old days, back when everything ended earlier and all this. Well, now that everything's changed, we need to update it. What are they called? The Heisman Trust needs to get off their ass and update their rules
So when do
about.
you think would be better? You think voting after? The problem is they have TV deals and all this other stuff to
Well,
have their big ceremony.
but they got to update
Well, okay, so when do you think they should award the Heisman?
after the season.
The problem is they're not going to get viewership because that many people don't care after the championship game.
Well, but here's the deal. If you're not telling me that if Jinty seriously pushed his team, it's just a hypothetical. Jinty were to push his team, Boise State, a group of 5 team to the college football playoff, that wouldn't matter to Heisman voters ultimately. Of course it would.
I'm trying to say that since Colorado started losing, I believe that he's already made the case and should be the Heisman winner already.
No way. Right now, for my vantage point, he hasn't done enough to pass Travis Hunter. But here's the thing: that there ought to be advantage of being able to do more than Travis Hunter does. Excuse me. Excuse me. I gotta take a drink. Sorry.
All right, now you worked yourself up. I understand. Get it. Hold on.
Ginty has earned the right to do more to pass Travis Hunter where Travis Hunter didn't. So therefore, it should still be in question. But because of the rules, the way they're established, it's not. And I just disagree with that. I'm sitting here arguing against my own guy because I want Travis. I think Travis Hunter is the best player in college football this year. But I don't believe I don't believe there's a fair showing of that because of how early they pull the ballots.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm 100%. I think there you go. So the ball guy on the Fat Boy podcast is the one pushing this. Come on, Heisman Trust. Let's get this correct. Let's
Right.
get it fixed.
I mean, let's get it fixed. They got to catch up with the times. The playoffs have changed. The amount of teams have changed. NIL has changed. Everything's changed except for the Heisman stuff. So they got to update that too, whether they want to stay stuck in the mud or not. Or we could just quit watching that imaginary award show because it don't mean nothing. And then they will do something.
Well, I mean something to people that get it.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean.
That's what I'm saying. I think they've lost a lot of people that really care about the Heisman anyway.
Yeah, but I'm a big Heisman guy because do you know that Alabama had never had a Heisman winner until Nick Saban era? Do you realize what that takes? The amount of first ballot Hall of Fame players that played at Alabama that never won the Heisman, and we didn't win any Heisman's until Nick Saban's era. Do you realize? You know, I know you don't. I don't know how much you know about history, but you knew who Bart Starr was?
Yep.
He went to Alabama. You knew who Joe Namath was? He went to Alabama. You know who Kenny Stabler was?
Okay, but you think these guys deserve to win the Heisman when they played in college?
Why don't you go? I just gave you 3 glaring examples of why they should have, but because of for whatever reason, none of them won the Heisman.
Because other people had better years.
Huh?
Because other people had better years is why. That's why they had better years.
You can't possibly tell me that all the because all 4 of them were in college all 4 years.
Okay.
All 3 of them, all 4 years. You can't tell me that not one of those 3, Stabler, Namath, or Bart Starr, didn't have a better year than somebody else, and they just looked over because there was an Alabama bias.
I don't believe there was an Alabama bias.
Oh, I do. There was a bad Heisman over Alabama bias for a lot of years, and Saban finally got that changed whether you believe it or not.
Okay, but I don't understand why you're trying to attribute NFL success to college Heisman success.
Because I know my history and you don't.
I'm just saying, why are you saying one relates to the other?
Because because they were good going in the NFL and they were good in college, and we should have had a Heisman before Saban there is what I'm saying. And I'm the only one out here saying it because nobody out here really cares. But I'm going to say it until I lose my voice.
Okay, start a petition.
I don't need a petition.
I mean,
I
I won't
know
sign it, but you want you to
I
start it.
in my heart and I know what's right and wrong. And you can't tell me that there wasn't Alabama players in history that didn't deserve the Heisman before Saban era. I'll never believe it. You could go, we could go track down the numbers to some of the best and compare the numbers and see and see why they didn't win it over the years of whoever they lost it against. And I guarantee they're comparable or better than who won it.
Yeah, but I mean, can't you do that every year? Like you could do that this year with the top two guys.
No, you can't. The
You're
best player,
right, because the guy that's not going to win it has better statistics.
the best player that's available this year is going to win it this year is the best player available. I'm not sure that happened in the past.
Depends on how you decide best player.
Okay,
Well, I mean, it does. Is it
we
the eye test or
we
is it
we can take the three examples I've already used, which are three of the greatest NFL quarterbacks NFL quarterbacks in history, and we could go compare them to the three, all 4 years they were in college, to the numbers of what the players that got the Heisman in those 4 years, and I guarantee one of those three had a better year than the one that won it. Statistically, that's all we based on now is just statistics.
I mean, but is that statistically? That's what I'm saying. Is that your argument that
Now,
statistically
for
your
the past,
guys would have been better?
it is for the future, not necessarily, but for the past, only way you can go look at Bart Starr and the 4 years he played in college, and look at your four Heisman winners for those 4 years, uh, and uh, and determine if Bart Starr was left out in the cold because of Alabama bias. You can do the same thing with Namath, and you can do the same thing with State.
I mean, I don't know if you can or not.
I think you can. It would take some. It would take some research, but a man could do it. So have we hashed out the Heisman stuff enough to move on, or
Hold
are
on,
you
hold on.
okay? You try to get one of my three to see if you can win the point here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured you would try to do. But I don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to compile this data in real time here. That's why I'm letting you talk for a minute. And let me see.
That makes for a wonderfully entertaining show.
I know it does. Okay. Heisman winners during Stars era. Players like Johnny Unitas and Joe Namath were considered much more dominant and impactful at the college level, winning Heisman trophies during their respective college careers.
Namath didn't win one because he went to Alabama, and we didn't have one before the. We didn't have a Heisman until the Saban era.
What it said, I don't know what to tell you here. Let's see. Uh, they won a national title in 1964. I mean, would you be saying something while I'm looking this up here? Just letting it die in
Well, I'm my problem is, I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to have. I don't want to have. I don't want you to go to prove me wrong either. Uh,
come on, man. He was considered the greatest, or Bryant considered him the greatest athlete he ever coached.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he won the. I think he won the first Super Bowl for God's sake, and he never won a Heisman. You know his two coaches. Think about this. Bart Starr's two coaches in life were Bear Bryant, and then he said, "Oh, I get a break." And then he goes and plays for Vince Lombardi.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
Well, I
He,
mean, was that a break or was that
no, that was
that
a
was a
break.
luck? That was luck of the draw coming up to where he got two of the best coaches.
Well, you got to think about that. Why did the Packers have such high picks? They had to be down toward the bottom of the draft, but even then, to get the best player in the draft.
Yeah, no, Namath. So I don't know why the other article said that, but Namath placed 11th in voting for the 1964 Heisman Trophy, the year y'all won y'all's title.
Yeah,
11th.
11. Yeah, no way.
The Notre Dame quarterback
Won,
won it that
you're
year.
telling me when he won the national title and he got 11th in '64? You telling me there was 11? There was 11 guys better than Joe Namath in '64? And you telling me
Maybe.
there's no Alabama bias?
Well, you got to remember too, that was also national, didn't really mean national back then either. And
That's
Notre Dame
what
definitely
I'm
had.
trying to tell you, bald guy. It was Alabama bias. We had such dominant players, coaches, and everything. They didn't want us to have it all, so they manufactured ways to give it to other people.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You want to know somebody else that didn't even get put on 110 ballots for the Heisman Trophy?
Who's that?
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was completely left off of 110 of the ballots for Heisman Trophy.
I have no idea why. Why?
Yeah, nobody knows.
Uh,
That's because Tennessee wasn't competing for national titles.
okay, that makes sense.
But there you go. He was still the number one draft pick.
Yeah,
Nobody thought he was the best college football player
yeah,
in an
yeah,
award that's generally dominated by quarterbacks.
yeah. So
I don't
don't
know.
make me.
That one's weird.
So don't make me start defending the Tennessee crapola.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. So apparently, Heisman voting has issues.
Yeah, big issues. But in the last several years they got it right because in Saban area, we won it 4 times in the Saban area.
Doesn't mean they got it right just because your guy won.
That's exactly what it means. What
No, it's not even close.
doesn't mean that? Goofball.
Just because they wrongly start letting people you like win does not mean that all of a sudden their selection process is better.
Wrongly. You lost your mind. All right, let's move on. Uh, we got some Cowboy stuff to argue about. We can move on to that.
Okay, all right. So what do you want to talk about the Cowboys? I mean, I was ready a couple weeks ago to be Team Tank, throw in the towel, let's be done. Let's get a
And
real good draft pick.
I told you not to do that because it
Uh,
wasn't a good idea.
well, I think it was a great idea. Apparently, nobody in the organization thought it was a good idea.
Or who else? Come on. I know
Who?
you got to give him credit.
Who? Do you want me to give you credit for this?
Yes. I told you that shit wasn't going to happen.
You said it wasn't going to happen. That doesn't mean it's not a good idea.
Whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, I told you it wasn't going to happen. Got the wrong ownership right here for Team Tank.
Team Tank was the best way forward for this team.
Not disagreeing, but still the wrong ownership for it.
Well,
you only hear what you want to hear.
no, I hear that. I'm just saying, I was on that. Let's do it. Let's make this team better to where we can maybe see a Super Bowl in Jerry Jones's lifetime again.
Okay. Well, how'd that work out for you so far?
I mean, hell, I want to see another Super Bowl in my lifetime.
How'd that work out for you so far?
Pretty disappointing.
Well, that's pretty much what I told you.
I
And
mean, how in the world do they come out and beat Washington?
I told you they were going to split Washington. You don't listen to me. You don't ever. I always, no. I don't even know why I even do a podcast. You don't listen to me. You think everything I say is wrong, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And when I'm right, you just think it's a fluke.
Okay, you were right. That doesn't mean that that's what should have happened.
What should have happened? Does it? What are you talking about?
I'll give you that. You
I'm
said, yeah, they're probably going to split with
reality
Washington.
what you're living in.
I'm just telling you that is crazy that they would go in and try to split with them.
In reality, we get up for the Redskins. In reality, we get up for Thanksgiving games. You got to get in reality.
We have sucked it home all year.
But it was a Thanksgiving game
against a division rival. I get that. I'm still saying it was the wrong play.
Please listen to me occasionally and just know that I don't say the stuff just to hear myself speak. I do know from some of the stuff I talk about has some validity to it. But if you just decide that nothing I say has any validity to it at all, you can probably do this podcast by yourself.
And this wouldn't be near as much fun without you here.
I'm not threatening nothing there. I'm just saying I have valid opinions, and most of them are pretty accurate. Now I do skew Alabama and I skew other things, but when I tell you something's gonna happen, I mean just let me. Sometimes
okay, hold on. First of all, let's use the mostly real loosely, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I know what you're trying to do there. That's fine. I'm not winning no money. I ain't bet on it or nothing. I don't have no money to bet.
Look, I'm just saying, I was ready for Team Tank. It breaks my heart to be on Team Tank. I didn't choose that for this year, but when your quarterback goes down for the year, you're already down in the standings.
You don't have
your best draft pick.
You don't have to describe the reason you're on Team Tank. Team Tank. I get the reasons why you're on Team Tank. I just told you don't have the ownership for Team Tank. You just don't want to hear reality.
Yeah, because the ownership for Team Tank would have went ahead and fired your coach if you were going to fire him. They would have went ahead and done all these other things.
They fired the GM too a long ass time ago.
No, they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, they would have.
But well, I mean, it's tough to tank when none of your coaches want to do a horrible job because they don't know they have a job next year.
Exactly, and that's part of what I wanted to talk about the Cowboys as opposed to Team Tank and all that.
Is the coaching?
I've got what the fat boy opinion of what this team direction this team ought to be going. It ain't nobody going to agree with me, but I'm going to say it anyway. And then when some of it comes to pass, I'll take some credit where it's due. And when some of it doesn't, I'll take the admonishment where it's due.
No, we're not going to go back and give that to you in the future. But I mean, go ahead and let us hear your opinion for right now.
Okay. Since the last time I spoke, I had some opinions on how I wanted to handle the coaching staff. But now I've changed my ways. I would like to stay with Mike McCarthy.
What?
I would like to see.
What is wrong with you?
I'm glad I got that reaction. I'd like to stay with Mike McCarthy. I would like to get younger and take the play calling away from Mike McCarthy and get us a new OC and get us. I have a very specific defensive coordinator I'd like to go get. I would like to see if Mike Vrabel would come over and be our defensive coordinator, assuming he doesn't get a head coaching job, which very possibly he will, and then I'll be out on that deal.
He's not going to. He's not going to. He rubs too many guys the wrong way in the building. That was the story when he come out of Tennessee. He's not going to get a head coaching job. He'll be available as a DC, whether he understands that or not, but he'll be a DC this next year.
Well, that's why I would like for him to be our DC. I would like to get a young. I even have a suggestion, but you've already poo-pooed off there. I would like to see Kendall Browse is our next offensive coordinator. and stay with Mike McCarthy as our.
So basically, we're going to take Mike McCarthy and make him Jason Garrett.
No, we're
Well,
not
that's what we did. We took play calling
because
away from Garrett, and we said, no,
Jason,
we want you to
because
be a walk around
Jason
head
Garrett
coach.
Jason Garrett didn't have Brawls, and he didn't have this other. I just went blank because you're questioning me, but Brable, and then we're going to move on. We'll stay with Bones Fossil. We'll stay with Bones Fossil's best team. I like the way that direction's going.
What?
And,
Hold on,
the
whoa. Did you see the fake punt? What part of this do you like?
because that was a McCarthy decision. You take some good, you take some bad, and there you have the facts of life, Charlie. Okay,
Yeah,
so
no, that's for sure. But
the next thing that I need to do is you had made a good, valid suggestion here a couple shows ago, and I think this team needs to get better by attrition. I would consider Michael Parsons to be a top 5 player in the league currently, and I would like to put him on the trade block and see how much of that draft capital you discussed we could actually get for him. Along with,
I think it'd be huge. I think it would be the draft package for him.
I believe one of McCarthy's problems, one of Dak's problems in the locker room is Michael Parsons outside airing too much stuff out on the street. I like Michael Parsons as a talent. I like Michael Parsons everything, but how much he runs his mouth and how he puts too much laundry out on the street. So therefore, I want to move Michael Parsons down the road. I like Overshown to stay as long as we get the snake of Michael Parsons off of him, and or the influence of whatever you want to say it. I'm not politically correct. I don't believe in that crap.
But I don't understand. What do you think Michael Parsons has rubbed off on Overshown?
He's been mentoring him and teaching him the ropes, and I just want to make sure that none of his lips rubs off on him as well as his talent. I want the talent of Michael Parsons to rub off on him, just not the big mouth.
So I mean, like, do you think his podcast is a problem, or I mean, what
Huge
else?
problem. I think any talking about what's going on in that locker room outside the locker room should be and the person that should be taking care of this is your $60 million man, and apparently he needs to grow some huevos rancheros and step up to somebody and tell him to shut up.
You think it's the quarterback's job to go get the
I
star?
think the quarterback's job to run the damn team, and if you don't believe that, ask Tom Brady, because that's the man that ran that team. And if you had one of his words, air laundry out.
Hold on, man. Stay with us. Stay with us.
It's going to kill me over. Air laundry out on the street. Tom Brady would have nipped that in the bud, just like Dak Prescott should.
Whoa, hold on. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, New England Patriots, completely different organization. I think Jerry Jones loves the fact that Michael Parsons is out there running his mouth, has a podcast and all that.
Saying Tom Brady and Dak Prescott in the same breath ought to give you some validity that I'm serious about what I say, because Tom Brady would not stand for Michael Parsons putting laundry out of the locker room on a podcast in any manner, and that's the way the quarterback should be. So far, that's not the way the quarterback that we have is handling this.
This organization is not run like any other organization in the league.
I disagree. I think the Patriots model is very, very similar to the Cowboys model.
What?
Kraft, I think Kraft takers just like I think Jerry Jones takers.
When Belichick was there?
I don't think Belichick liked it, but I think he still takers. I think if Tom Brady had an ultimate problem and Belichick stuck his foot in the ground, I think Brady could go right to Kraft.
He could, and you saw Brady went right somewhere else.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. That's just my opinion. I'm allowed to be wrong every now and then.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I think that's the way it worked. I think Brady felt like he had that relationship and he could, but I don't think either one of them wanted to go against Belichick.
2 years after he did, Brady went somewhere else. What happened? What happened to little old Belichick? gone because he couldn't win without Tom. Kraft backed the wrong mule. He should have backed Tom instead of Belichick.
I think they worked very good together.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay, so to sum this all up into one nice fine ball, we keep McCarthy, we get Vrabel, we get Browse, we get rid of Micah, we get some draft picks. We keep we get a lot of the players back there that are on the injury list, including Dak, and we make another another run at this for next year.
So you're already calling that we go Super Bowl next year.
Well, I go Super Bowl every year until after the first game. Then I get realistic.
Well, I mean, even if we win the first game, it's still Super Bowl, right? You're in there, Super Bowl or bust until we lose a game, and then it's like, we may have some problems.
Yeah, something like that. But I'm just telling you, I was breaking all the way down. Then I was I was a Deion Sanders guy. Then I was definitely not a Belichick guy at any point. So right now I'm McCarthy, Vrabel, and in a young up and coming offensive coordinator. I'm using Browns as an example of that particular thing. There'll be some pushback on Browse, that name, but I don't really care about that. He's a Texas guy, and I think he's proven it in the last few spots. He's got some good offensive coordinating ability, so I like him. So that's where I'm at on the Cowboys situation.
I mean, that's not totally. I mean, that won't happen, but I mean, that's not totally crazy.
Yeah,
I could support that plan if that happened.
yeah. Well, thank you.
Of course, I mean, I also supported bringing in Zimmer too,
Yeah,
and we all see what that did.
Hey, right here, Zimmer. I thought Zimmer, especially since Numbnuts went to Washington, I thought Zimmer was what this team could use, and boy, was I wrong.
I don't know. I don't know what it would take for them right now. I mean, this
I,
year is such an
gotta get rid
odd
of
year because all your coaches were on expiring contracts. It just
gotta get rid of the locker room cancer first.
You think he's a cancer? I don't know if he's a cancer.
I do.
I'm not putting that on him. I'm not saying he's a cancer.
I'm putting it all the way on him. He's great. I don't want to belittle cancer, but as far as sports goes, I'm not. My mother died of cancer. I don't want to belittle cancer. But what I'm getting at is that's the terminology in the league. I didn't come up with that. I didn't invent it. So, but yes, I believe he's the problem, and I feel why he's worth something. I still think you can get something for him to get his voice out of the locker room. And Dak Prescott does need to step up and lead that locker room, and that's just how I feel about it. Yeah, I don't want it to be Dak Prescott, but that was before they re-signed him, so now I have no choice.
So you think? Well, I mean, the Giants did cut.
Yeah, but we're not we're Jerry Jones is stupid, but he New York Giants stupid.
Well, Jerry Jones hates paying people to not be here.
Exactly.
That's what his coaching problems are, and everything else is because
so in my opinion,
to pay people that aren't here.
Okay, so I think we're riding with Dak until Dak's Dak contract's out, or more or less to that direction.
Yeah. But again, that's a problem because I don't understand why when you're quarterback, if you're planning on keeping him, why you don't sign him a year or two early.
And the other thing, Ferguson's been good, but he got hurt now. I wouldn't mind an upgrade at tight end too. I think lack of a safety valve for even for Dak or for Rush has been very glaring on this team. I mean, and I know there's been some other tight ups that stepped up, like what's this?
Schoonmaker or whatever.
Schoonmaker, Schoonhauer, Schoonmaker, Schoon something. I think he stepped up a little bit, but I would like more. I mean,
yeah, I'm okay with a healthy Ferguson.
A healthy Ferguson, or I even want to upgrade I would like to see what like a Pitts would do in here. That kind of.
Well, but I think Pitts is a problem blocking.
Well, dude, how much does our tight end actually? But now, when we play two tight ends, one of them definitely blocks. But when we play when we play the one tight end just chip, I think Pitts is good enough to do that. I've watched him in Atlanta, so somebody. I don't mean Pitts exactly. I mean somebody more in that wide, Kelsey, Pitts, Kittle area.
Okay.
I don't know if Ferguson's quite to that level.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to see him healthy again and give him. I mean, give him another shot because I think
But
that injuries have been kind of been holding back.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm
And
with
of course, it goes without saying, we we have got we have absolutely we have got to.
Oh, you were moving us around. I'm getting
Yeah.
dizzy.
Well, my charger says it needs to be plugged in.
Oh,
Sorry
okay.
about that,
Hey,
everybody.
you done changed your background on us.
Yeah, I did all kinds.
We see your lovely wife in the background now.
Sorry. Is that better?
Keep going. Keep going. Come on.
It's
Come on.
still
Yeah, there
because of my battery dying. I didn't know that was going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm getting in trouble on the air.
Hey, Mrs. Fat Boy.
Still there?
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh, there. Now you're good. Now you're good. You didn't want to make her podcast famous today or what?
Not really. She
Okay.
sure does. I
She
tell you.
sure doesn't.
She don't even want to be podcast famous.
Well, that's probably about all the podcast today. Fat Boy's got stuff he's got to go deal with. Is there anything else you wanted to cover today?
And now that's the Mavericks are playing good ball.
That's good. I hope they keep it up.
I think they won 6 in a row.
And Luca's back healthy now, right?
Yeah, they're running. They look good. The bigs looks good. The team's starting to come together. And we look good. We really do. We're gonna make another major run at this, I think.
Awesome. All right. Well, that sounds good. That's it for me, Fat Boy. We're ready to just go ahead and see what the Cowboys do. Apparently, we have different ideas of where it's going to be. We got a couple weeks on the college football playoffs, so that's going to be interesting.
Not for me.
Well, it's going to be interesting for everybody but the Fat Boy.
Roll Tide.
All right. We'll see you guys later.